March 2020. What a time to be in the fitness industry. I will never forget the speed at which I got the call that I needed to shut down my gym. No warning, no timeline for reopening. But I'm a lemonade from lemons kind of gal, and I saw this opportunity to maintain the strength of my community. Pivoting to all online workouts, loaning out equipment, giving away rolls of toilet paper. Remember that? Custom branded face masks that I delivered personally. However, when we did get the green light to reopen, it had to be 6 feet apart, masked, and try to keep the heavy breathing to a minimum. Have you ever tried to do burpees and box jumps in those conditions? It was a time when many decided to close up shop for good because no one knew if or when the fitness industry would recover. My guest today didn't just survive COVID, she lost almost everything and then made a really bold move. She went from 2 locations down to one, 13 massage therapists down to four, and every day felt like counting down to permanent closure. And then, just 1 year later, she moved into a studio twice the size. And today, she runs 2 locations with 25 therapists, grosses over $1.2 million annually, and is preparing to franchise. So, this is a conversation about what happens when you double down on yourself at the lowest point, when everyone else sees risk and you see possibility. But before we get to chatting, every episode kicks off with our listener question in a segment called Hey Coach. So, what would you ask if you had a business coach in your back pocket? Submit your question to Leslie at thefitnessabusiness.com. Hey Coach, COVID taught me I need to diversify my revenue streams, but I'm already stretched thin. How do I build resilience into my business model without burning out? Welcome to the show, Amber.
Oh my gosh, Leslie, I want you to be my hype girl and pull you out of my pocket anytime I need someone to remind me that I can do hard things. So
You can do hard things.
y-
You did do hard
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Uh, what happened to you during COVID? What happened to you during COVID?
Oh my God. I put on 25 pounds and lost half my hair. It was
You're
it
so
was
pretty on, tracks with everybody else.
yeah, it was a beast. Yeah. So I run a massage studio. You cannot do massage from 6 feet apart. And you're literally touching people outside your bubble. It was terrifying to try and figure out how to pivot my business, which, like yours, provides this community of healing and support and wellness. I mean, you can go see your first off, chiropractors and physical therapists got to remain open. They're touching people too, but
That's
massage
true.
there.
They were deemed essential,
Yeah,
right?
well, because they're classified as healthcare workers, and here at Soma Massage Therapy, we feel very strongly that we also need to be classified as healthcare workers. I think that that needs to be the industry standard, but as long as you're tipping your massage therapist, you're putting us in the service industry. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
and so think about what closed first. It was hair, nails, bars, restaurants, and massage. Chiropractors and physical therapists got to stay open, and they're touching people too, but we're just our industry is not taken as seriously as the healing modality that it is, and that's
Yeah,
one of the reasons why I'm very excited about franchising because I wanna transform this industry coast to coast. But let me back up. So,
sure.
you can see your physical therapist and you can see your chiropractor during COVID, but when you're used to seeing your massage therapist for your thoracic outlet syndrome or your sciatica or your lymphedema or your shoot, anything else, frozen shoulder, you name it, migraines, the chiropractor can help, but the massages might be the thing that really helps you, maintain your health and your comfort. We were closed. We were 100% closed, and, I had to pivot to, like you, with your virtual workouts. I created a series of self-care videos of, things like, "Hey, are your sinuses driving you crazy, but you can't touch your freaking face? Here's some here's some DIY reflexology. Let me teach you."
Mm,
And what I learned through that process, that was just one of the many things that I did while we were closed. What I learned through that process is that by taking care of myself, namely getting dressed, putting on pants, brushing my teeth, preparing, doing something, for myself during the day, by by taking care of myself, I was able to take care of others through these
Mhm.
videos. And I was able to reach a global audience because
Mm.
it's, with massage, it's very hyper local.
Yeah.
It's you really can't do it online, right?
Yeah.
And I was able to, during that time, reach a global audience because everyone around the world was going through the same thing.
Yeah.
We're all at home, doom scrolling on our phones. And then here comes my cheerful face showing you how to manage your clenched teeth, making sure that you're breathing correctly. Acupressure points in your hands and feet to deal with your migraines, right? That put eyes on soma massage therapy
Mhm.
specifically, but on massage therapy as a whole. And people
Yeah.
started thinking about massage as more being a part of your healthcare regimen and not a thing that you do twice a year on
Yeah.
your birthday and anniversary, right? So then when we were able to reopen a couple months later, I was very transparent with our clients about all the things like, look, we can't keep 6 feet apart from you, but
Yeah.
here's all the other things that we're doing to keep you safe,
Mhm.
to keep you, our clients safe, to keep our community safe, and to keep our employees safe, right? And
Yeah.
by being very and everyone in the world wanted to just know that they were safe and being cared for,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I was very transparent about it. It ended up and that combined with the videos that I was doing really brought in a lot of clients. My challenge was finding massage therapists because it's
Right.
when 85% of massage therapists are women and women's careers, as we both know, were deeply affected disproportionately
Mhm.
compared to men during the pandemic because the schools are closed and there's no babysitters. Guess who's taking care of the kids? It's the person who
Yeah.
earns less, which
Yeah.
is the woman, right? So I had very few massage therapists. Those who did return one by one had to quit because of the stresses of it all. By the end of the summer, I really only had one original member
Mm.
left on my team. But
Wow.
through sheer determination and stubbornness, I guess, I was able to rebuild my business. Now we gross well over $1 million a year. We're franchising. I just don't take no for an answer, I guess. This business means too much to me, and I can know that the work that we're doing is very beneficial in so many ways to so many people. I couldn't let them down either. That was a
Yeah,
really long
and
answer. Sorry, time's up. I'm out. I'll show myself to
okay, well, thank you so much for being here. I have a many, many, many follow-up
Sure.
questions and thoughts, but kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of, like, you said you started to offer these online videos,
Mom?
where people could practice self-care. Were those, like, techniques and skills that you already possessed, or did you have to go, like, educate yourself? And how did you get those videos to actually get visibility and traction online when everyone was going online?
Yeah. Your first question, how did I know that? Yeah, I did. And I went to a fantastic massage school, the Boulder College of Massage Therapy. They unfortunately
That's
closed.
great. In our
Yeah.
in my
Yeah,
yes, in
yeah.
our town.
That's right. Yeah, but unfortunately they closed a number of years ago during the recession back in
Mm,
the mid 2000s. Anyway, yes, I went to a fantastic school and one of the things that they really drilled into their students is making sure that we're providing, I guess for lack of a better word, homework to our clients after the massage so that their massage can last a little bit longer. We want people to be caring for themselves all the time, not just during that 1 hour during their session. And a lot of massage schools, the really good ones will also, teach their student therapists this more than just drinking water and take it easy, but do this particular stretch
hmm,
for those jacked up scalenes and make sure that you are breathing correctly and this is why, right? And let
yeah,
me show you, right? So these were things that I kind of already knew and things that I was already providing to our clients post session. How did I get the reach? Girl, I don't know. We were just all online. We were just all online all the time. So that's what I did. I would get up and I would get dressed and I'd put on lipstick and I'd be like, here are the 3 videos I'm going to create. And I would record them 1, 2, 3, and then I would post them to our, at that time we had a Patreon because I didn't have any money coming in. So I thought if you could at least give me like $10 a month, I'm gonna give you like unlimited access to these videos. Hardly made any money, but it was something, right? And then I also had like free teaser ones on our YouTube channel to get people to sign up for our Patreon. Now they are all open to the public. I've unlocked access to all of them, but girl, I don't know. I just posted them online and then I would just share them and I'd tag my friends and they'd be like, "Oh my god, this was so helpful." that boosts the algorithm, and then you start getting that traction and people started really also, I do think it was I mean, it was useful content. I wasn't posting crap, you know? I really it was like this was something that people needed and were actively looking for and would engage with on a regular basis. That's how I yeah, that's how you get the algorithm up. Yeah.
So you just named like 4 or 5 things that actually helped you get some traction and visibility. So
Mhm,
I think that you're selling yourself short in that you actually had some intentionality behind it.
mhm. And
No,
what
but because, consistency, tagging people, good quality content,
Mhm,
positive content, which was
mhm.
highly sought after
Yes, yes.
still. Well,
Right.
I don't know that it's highly sought after. It is a welcome reprieve from what is typically out there. Um, and like the teasers, I mean, so there was more strategy behind it, but maybe at the time it didn't it felt a little bit more haphazard and
I mean, I had a couple of friends that are like, "You should do a virtual massage studio," and I'm like, "That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard." Like, you cannot do a massage online. It is impossible.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
longer I sat at home feeling helpless about the state of
Mhm.
my business, and the more clients I was contacting, because what would happen here in Texas is that Governor Abbott would say, "Everything's closed for 2 weeks." And I'd be like,
Mhm.
"Cool. We're probably not gonna open in 2 more weeks, but that's what I'm gonna plan on because that's
Mm,
what I know." And
yeah.
rather than sending out a mass email or a mass text, "Hey, we're closed until future notice," I would literally sit down and call personally all of the clients on the schedule for the next 2 weeks. "Hey, this is Andrea at
Wow.
Salon Massage Therapy. We've got you for an appointment next week, Tuesday. As you heard, we're closed. I'd like to help you reschedule for 2 weeks out. If we're still closed, we'll have a repeat of this conversation. By the way, how you doing?" And then they'd say, "Fine, I pivoted, I'm working from home, kids are driving me crazy. I really overdid it though with my
Mhm.
yoga and I pulled something in my hip. Do you have any recommendations?" So I would start coaching them over the phone, "Do this stretch, I would recommend ice over heat, and this is why,
Yeah.
da, 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 da." And I started more and more I was having these conversations, I'm like, "I need to just do something."
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I started listening to my friends who were like, "You should do this thing with these online, videos." And it just kinda took off. I needed to find a way to I guess, for lack of a better word, maybe have more control? Maybe that's not I don't think my therapist would like it if I used those words, but you know what I mean? Like, what can you like,
I think your therapist would really like it
I don't
actually.
know, like,
Just name it.
I couldn't control the pandemic. I couldn't control when my business was gonna open, but I could control how I interacted with my clients and what I chose to do with my day. And I just really like our entire philosophy at Selma Massage Therapy is people first. We are literally touching naked bodies. Like we have to hold space for these people and be very intentional in the way that we interact with them and make sure that they feel safe and cared for. So if I can't be touching you physically, can I touch you virtually and
Yeah.
care for you that way? And that
Yeah.
again, just not only cared for our current clients, but cared for the whole community and really the whole world, who now knows about soma massage therapy and the benefits of massage in general. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. It's like as I was kind of like, brainstorming how I wanted to write an intro for today's episode, and I thought back to like what happened when my gym closed down during COVID, and I was like, oh yeah, I actually still on my Google Maps have my folder in there of where all my clients lived or the
Mhm,
members lived that I could
mhm.
walk to, and I
Mm.
hand delivered like, little protein balls that I made, and although
What?
that maybe I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. They were baked, and so they were fine,
Yes.
and a branded, mask with a logo, and a and I think, like, we cannot underestimate the value that you instilled and created by a simple phone call, which is really not that simple because it was, yeah, especially during a time when people were so out of touch and so scared and,
Mhm. Yeah.
lacking that connection in so
Yep.
many ways.
Yeah.
I felt very similar. Ultimately I closed, but that was, not entirely due to COVID. It was I was pregnant and not willing to
That's
sign another
that is
5-year
a lot
lease.
to take on. It's just a lot to
Yeah, that's a lot to take on and I was just ready and so the timing just worked out. However, um it was just this time where everything was so unpredictable and so unknown, and
Mhm.
so the, um, the consistency of maintaining connections with
Yeah.
the people who already you had already developed relationships with, and I felt the same way. It's like, I think in retrospect, like, wow, that was probably a lot more powerful than, maybe they don't remember, but I do.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that intentionality that you had, Leslie, and, like, who can like, I can't reach all of my clients, but I can reach these ones, right? I can't create a video for every single scenario, and I can't make sure that all of our clients sees it, but I can do this,
Yeah.
right? And I think that that's one of the things that my therapist did teach me is, like, I can't for as type A as I am, I am also approaching 50, and I realize, in my wise old age now that sometimes you just have to roll with it. And when you can create some flexibility and maybe not go with plan A, B, or C, but maybe you're on
Mhm.
plan, element OP, like, we get you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. And so just doing what you can controlling what you can, doing what you can to create that positive ripple effect in the world, like, what
Yeah.
you did for your clients, like, meant so much to them, and learning
Mhm.
to take that energy out into the world, and that's just that positive, loving energy is just gonna continue to grow, like, what can you do that's gonna
Yeah.
create good in the world, and just do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Totally. Girl, I hear you on the approaching 50 thing, and, like, a lot of a lot of 0 Fs given in a
Oh,
lot of
really?
different areas.
Yes, truly. No, I don't my my husband calls it my CEO voice when I'll just make an observation. I'm like, I think they could do that better. And he's like, why don't you just he's like, "Well, you always have to be the CEO." I'm like, I'm not complaining. I'm just making an observation that the quality control is a little bit lacking in this area. Like everything, like the way he loads the dishwasher or the service that I got at the restaurant or like whatever.
Oh
It's
my
funny,
gosh.
something happens when you turned 40, did you suddenly feel like a grown-up? Like, I didn't really feel it like a grown-up until I turned 40, and then I was like, "Shoot, I can do what I want. This is
Well,
amazing."
that's interesting because that's actually, um, when I was pregnant, so that was during COVID,
Huh?
and I think that I don't know because I think there was way too much going on to have any sort of perspective on much of anything. Um, I think no, I don't know that I still feel like a grown-up.
Oh, really?
I
Oh.
don't know. Sometimes I do, and then other times I'm like, "What am I do I know what I'm doing? I don't
I
know."
mean, do any of us really know what we're doing? I think there's,
No.
like some grown-ups are really good at some things, but I don't think all grown-ups are good at everything. Does that make sense?
No.
Like, yeah.
Right.
You
No,
have
I
to
think it's
find
possible.
you have to find the grown when you're looking for advice from I know we're, like, way off script now, I'm sorry, but, like,
I had
inher
a feeling we might be.
I have to be really, when I was a kid, I thought grown-ups knew everything, like, grown-ups don't know everything, but some grown-ups are really good at knowing this one thing, and this other
Yes.
grown-ups are really good at knowing this one thing. You just have to, like, know which friend to talk to get the grown-up advice that you need. Anyway, I wish that for you that someday you just want to be like, "You know what? I'm finally a grown-up. Imma do what I want. Imma do what I want."
I think
Like
being a grown-up is realizing the things that you aren't good at and being okay with it.
yeah, that's true.
So, there's
That's
my that thank you to my
yeah.
therapist for that one.
Thank you, therapy.
God, thank you, therapy, for so many things. Um,
Sorry,
okay,
okay, alright.
let's I want to go back to how did you get from, you know, doing the online videos, just sort of like getting by, doing what you needed to do, and having these like really, really high touch point conversations and interactions to the point where you decided to expand?
Yeah, okay. So, I really like this story. So, I was so focused on just not imploding, that I guess I hadn't really fully recognized or appreciated where we landed in such a short time
Mm.
here. So, March 2020, we closed. May 2020, we opened. May 2021, we moved into a larger space with double the capacity. By 2022, we were grossing $1 million a year. what? What?
Yeah.
And then, in 2023, I went on vacation to the Olympic Peninsula, which 10/10 recommend, absolutely. And I looked at those trees and I said, "How can I live with you? Because you are beautiful."
Did
There's
they say anything back?
well,
J they
yes. Yeah,
Oh,
actually, yeah. So the trees are pretty connected, right? Like they reach all the way to the sky. They got these roots that are interconnected. I'm like, maybe you could spread the word. I would like to come live with you. As a small business owner, you can't just transfer to the Soma massage therapy in Tacoma, like,
yeah.
'cause there isn't that one there yet, right?
Mhm.
And so I was very tethered to my studio here in Texas. How can I go live in the trees? Well, I came back from that vacation and serendipitously there was a text message waiting for me in my inbox saying, "Have you considered franchising?" And I thought, well, son of a bitch, maybe I ought to consider franchising. And so I did some research, and that firm was not the right fit for me, but franchising as a whole seemed like a really smart idea because now I have the opportunity. Now, we have 2 studios here in Denton. One has 7 rooms, it's open 7 days a week. One is just 1 room in a chiropractic clinic open 4 days a week. So it's
Mm,
technically 2 studios, but I kinda call it room 8 that's 5 miles away. Between
m'kay.
those 2, we see over 1,000 clients a month. Okay.
Wow.
Now imagine if we had 500 or 1,000 locations across the
Mhm.
country, how many more people we could heal, which has always been my intention I started out as a massage therapist, now I'm a CEO. My intention throughout my career has always been how can I provide this healing touch to as many people as possible without killing myself in the process,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Similar to, like, why did I create these videos? I want to be able to reach and help and heal as many people as possible, but I can't touch them myself, so what can I do, right? Rather than opening yet another studio here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which would further tether me to Texas and not get me out to the Olympic Peninsula, why don't I take that money that it would cost me to open that studio and the time it would take to do it and invest in a franchise model so that the
Mhm.
next person can open their studio in, I don't know, Denver or Tacoma or St. Paul or just down the street, maybe in Waco. Like, I don't know, like, but we could still have the same people first philosophy, the same clearly successful business model.
Mhm.
I don't have to be the one running it. You can. You
Yeah.
have this opportunity for generational wealth. You have this opportunity to provide healing to your community, and then and we can just continue to again this positive ripple effect across the whole country. So
Yeah.
that's what led me to franchising is seeing how successful. We're like we grossed $1 million like 18 months after closing completely. Like there's something there.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something really special there, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one that's running all of these studios. I would kill myself doing that.
Of course.
I would rather teach someone, which is why I hired this brilliant, franchise, coaching company, the Franchise Bible Coach. I mean, they basically walked me through this 9-month, very intensive franchise boot camp and polished me up around the edges, and they're like, You're ready." So we've got the ops manual, we've got site, selection criteria, we have a build out, an inventory list, we have a registered trademark, we have all of our documents, like, we're ready to go. And
Yeah.
so now I would like to take this, 2 decades I have in this industry, plus this trial by fire I learned through COVID on what works,
Yeah.
and teach other people across the country how to bring this healing model to their
Mhm.
community as well. That's why. And ultimately, I want
Hmm.
to just go live among the trees in the Olympic Peninsula. That's kind of my selfish reason. But also, like I said, bringing that healing touch, generational wealth. I mean, sign me
Yeah.
up. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but being selfish is also partially why people go into business for themselves,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a great goal is to be selfish and still be able to get this wide reach to have a positive impact on people.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
you
it's
don't.
definitely a motivating factor. Like, where do I see myself in 5 or 10 years? It's not running 100 studios, right? But I would love for there to be 100 somas across the country, and I'm gonna teach you how to do it. And so I just wanna put in a plug as long as we're talking about this because I know
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so fired up right now. So if you Go to our website, mysomamassage.com, SOMA. It's short for somatic.
And it
Mysomamassage.
will all be linked in the shows notes, but
Great,
yes.
thank you.
Mhm. Sure.
Mysomamassage.com. At the top of our page is a link for franchising. So click on that. At the bottom, and it'll tell you all about Soma, all about the massage industry, all the benefits that we offer. At the bottom of that page is a form, very simple, no obligation. Fill it out. We're going to send you some more information. If this opportunity isn't right for you, but you know someone that this would just be perfect for them, like they don't have to be a massage therapists, but they're totally into wellness. They're looking for another job. Maybe Doge slash their last career and they just want to have a little more agency over their future, whatever it is,
Yeah.
introduce them to me. And if they become a Soma Massage Therapy franchisee in the future, then you will get either $1,000 cash or a year of free massages. My way of saying thank you for making that introduction. So mysomamassage.com/franchise is where you can learn more. Thanks for letting me put in that plug. I appreciate it.
Well, and thank you for pointing to me when you said you will get $1,000 or a year of free massage because I interpret that as everybody who signs up to be a franchisee, I get to benefit.
Sure. Hey, if they mentioned your show, I heard about it, on the Fitness of Business podcast. I will be
Okay.
following up with you.
Yes, it's a little bit of a drive for me to come get a massage in Texas.
Yeah, well,
However,
but what if they open one in in your
I
area?
know.
You get the $1,000 cash. And same goes for your listeners too. So if any of your listeners wants to put in the plug and they say, "My friend so and so,"
Yeah,
then I'll follow up with you. So, yeah.
love it. Quick pause. I was that kid in school whose notes everyone wanted to borrow before the test. Color coded, organized, the whole deal. I'm still doing it, but now for entrepreneurship instead of AP Bio. My Substack is basically me sharing my notes with you. The podcast gives you the big ideas. My Substack shows you how to implement them. Step by step guides, templates, and real stories from the trenches. Subscribe for free at leslieboyce.substack.com. That's LESLIEBOYCE. And let's take this from theory into practice. Because knowing you should hit the gym and actually getting there to do the reps are two very different things. I would love to know what are the criteria that you look for in a person who wants to open a location?
Yeah. So, that's a great question because there's definitely brand standards, and we are definitely a value-focused company. I cannot have someone who does not align with my values
Mhm.
owning a Soma because they would go off the rails and it would damage the brand. But again, we don't have to align on everything, but there are some very clear values, and we learn about each other through this mutual discovery process. It's not like you just sign a piece of paper and boom, you're ready to go. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna be working very closely with each other, so we're gonna get to know each other. So we need to share many of the same values.
Yep.
But we also I'm looking for someone who has an entrepreneurial mindset. Like they're a go-getter. They can multitask. Like like they wake up in the morning ready to go.
Yeah.
But they also want some flexibility in their work-life balance. That's one of the things I really love. I've got such a brilliant team running my studio. I'm recording this from my home office. I work here 99% of the time. The only
Yeah.
time I ever really go into work is to get a massage and maybe sweep a floor. Like I'll work here. But early in my career, when I was starting my business by myself, and this is the thing that often people will ask, if I have the money, why don't I just start my own business? Well, you could, but you are doing literally everything all the time, making mistakes along the way. I made a lot of mistakes over the 20 years, but I know what works, right? So by being part of a franchise model, you have the support in all these different areas: HR, marketing, tech, budgeting, all these things. So we're here to help you out. So we're looking for someone who can multitask, who's a good communicator, who's a good team player, who shares not all my values, but we are on the same page with a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And is really just looking for a good investment opportunity. I mean, if you're looking to
Mm.
diversify your retirement portfolio, or you're looking to start a family and you want to have a little more flexibility so you can go to your kids' hockey games
Yep.
and not be tied to the desk all the time, franchising, especially with Summer, would be a great fit for you.
Yeah. Okay. With regards to expansion and sort of balancing that with your commitment to uh environment and communication and camaraderie and people first, like, how do you plan to maintain that value as
Mhm.
you expand and keep expanding?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and one that I've talked about at length with my coach too, because
Yeah.
Soma's my baby. I've worked really hard to keep this thing living and breathing and growing.
Mhm.
Um, and it's very important to me that everyone who walks through our doors feels welcomed and safe, regardless of gender identity, regardless of religious, affiliation, regardless of immigration status. Like everyone who comes through our doors needs to feel safe.
Yeah.
That's a very that's very very important to me and very important to the brand. And I will say one of the things that has made Soma so successful over the years is we live our values out loud. And
Mhm.
I think especially today, people want to know when they're spending their money that it's going to causes and businesses that align with them as well. So as we grow and expand, as I said previously, there is this mutual discovery process. It's not like you say, I want to buy a Soma and I say sign here. It's not transactional in that way. It's really a partnership and a relationship. So we walk our franchisees through this whole process where because we want them to feel empowered in this decision. And I also want to know that they're going to be a good fit because especially in these early stages, as the CEO, I personally will be holding your hand through a lot of this
Mhm.
until we really get up and running and have, a bigger team to operate, now we have regions, right, that we're managing. So this is discovery process. So they come to a virtual discovery day call, which again you can RSVP for on our website, mysonamassage.com/franchise. They learn more about what we offer through through franchising. They fill out an application. It's very basic. We give them, our franchise documents. They can look it over. We schedule a one-on-one call. And so we're getting to know them a little bit more. They're getting to know me a little bit more. We just kind of walk them through this process to the point where we're getting to these like in-person discovery days now. So now it's not virtual anymore. Now we're meeting them face to face. I'm spending a day or more with them. We're just getting to know each other. Like, are
Mhm.
you, are you cool? Like, can we work
Yeah.
with each other? Or are you a total cowboy who's just going to be a real maverick and just do your own thing like that? If
Mhm.
you're a cowboy, want to do your own thing, start your own damn business. Like this is this isn't for you, right? But if we can find alignment and agreement in some of these key areas and we just feel comfortable with each other, then we'll move forward. And there are also in the FDD and the FA, like there are clear brand standards. There's lines you don't cross, and if you do, there's a curing process. We call it a
Mm.
method to cure it, like within a
Yeah.
certain time frame to get your shit together. And if you don't, then we pull your license, right? There are
Mm.
also like clear red lines that you do not cross. Like we're not going to hire predators, and my God, if you do, you're gone forever, right? Like you're not, so I mean, there's clear red lines that you don't cross, and then there's other sort of like, okay, so you stepped out of bounds, let's get you back on track.
Yeah.
And when people don't, then they lose their license, plain and simple,
Mhm.
because I'm not gonna have it all it takes is one cowboy to
Mhm.
tarnish the whole brand, and that's not good for anybody, our franchisees, the brand as a whole, our employees, our clients, our
Yeah.
reputation. So, yeah.
Is that a concern going into, having sort of a long-term goal of multiple locations? I mean, you mentioned 500 to 1,000,
Wouldn't that be great?
and
Let's go, yeah.
yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, go for it.
How do you
And
manage them all? Yeah.
yeah, and how do you, like, keep a pulse on every single one of them?
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I do at the beginning phases, right?
Yeah.
But when with franchises, like, you pay this initial franchise fee, right? That helps with some of our ongoing expenses. You're also paying royalties every month, right? So I'm not keeping all this money. Like, I'm starting to hire a team now, just like I have at my flagship studio here in Denton, they are running the studio on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and as we get bigger, I add people to my team. Now I have 2 managers. Now I have another front desk assistant. Now I have a marketing manager, like, right? So as we continue to grow, I will also be building my franchise team so that we have regional managers and we have, secret shoppers and we have the help desk that you can call into. Of course, I'm gonna be keeping my finger on the pulse. This is my baby and my business. But I personally am not going to be the one when we have 500 studios answering the phone all the time, because that's, again, how can I scale up without burning myself out? And it's adding anything you do in your life. It's adding the support team that you need, whether you are a CEO or a stay-at-home mom. Like, who is it
Mhm.
that you can rely on to hold your hand and make sure that you don't kill yourself in the
Mhm.
process, right?
Yeah.
So finding that support is critical. Yeah.
So, who is the first person or first role you will hire for, and how will you know that you're ready to hire for it?
That's a great question, and I don't know how to answer that yet, Leslie. But that's why I have, in all honesty, that's why I have a consistent coaching
Mhm.
firm working with me, because I know everything. I know everything there is about massage therapy and small business ownership. Like, you
Mhm.
lob one of those questions at me and I can answer that. I I am new to franchising,
Yeah.
right? So I needed to hire the experts. So they've been very good to me this whole time, teaching me everything I need to know. So when we get to that point, they'll say, you need to start budgeting for this
Mhm.
role, and
Yeah.
this is who you're looking for, and so I don't know, but I don't know how to answer that question specifically, but I do feel very prepared for when that comes my way. Listen, like, the last thing I want, Leslie, is for someone to drop their life savings on this dream, and then I don't know how to support them.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
and if they fail, I fail, right?
Right.
And I don't clearly, as we saw in COVID, I don't like failing. So
Mm.
so I wanna make sure that by when again, as I said earlier, when I looked into franchising in the first place, I started doing my homework on these different, franchise consulting firms, and a lot of them were not a good fit. I found
Mhm.
one is,
Yeah.
and they've been very good to me, and I fully trust them to keep this brand successful and sustainable in the future. So I can't answer the first part of your question, but I will feel ready when that time comes to know what the answer is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that is answering the question. Um, I'm at a point right now in my business where I'm putting out a ton of content and I love doing it. And I'm starting to realize I can't sustain this,
Mhm.
especially like as I get more and more actual paying clients, then like something's got to give. But
Right.
until I got to this point, I wouldn't have known that I
Right.
think I'm going to hire either a virtual assistant or a social media person.
Mhm.
Um, but I didn't know what I needed until I went through the process.
Right.
So I think
Right.
that's totally fair.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, how do you keep yourself grounded and well and you know, prioritize your health and well-being in the midst of, some pretty stressful,
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah. That is like the evergreen question, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I have a really brilliant support team, so I don't have to do it all. I really want to emphasize that to everyone listening, that you don't have to do it all. When people ask, can I help? Say yes. It's okay. Like, let them help. It's also okay to delegate. It's also okay to ask for help. So I pay a ton of money to my front desk team so that they can focus on keeping the ship steady, so that I can look at the bigger horizon and the bigger picture and
Yeah.
work on franchising. I can't be working on my business if I'm working in my business, right?
Yeah.
So I've got a really great team to share the workload. I fortunately have an extremely supportive husband who was the one to do the bulk of the educating and housework when I was during COVID, when I was just,
Mhm.
30-hour days. So that,
That's impressive.
yeah, so that helps. Well, just generally, how do I say this? Our tagline at Soma is self care is how you get your power back.
Mhm.
And that became very real to me about a year ago when I looked in the mirror and I was about 25, 30 pounds overweight. I was drinking a half bottle of wine a night. I was, which meant I wasn't sleeping well. So I'd get up in the morning exhausted, not hungover, but sticky, feeling gross,
Yeah.
which puts me that much further behind the starting line. So it takes me
Yeah.
that much longer to catch up. I would go full steam all day doing everything for everybody else except myself.
Mhm.
And then 9 o'clock would roll around, be like, "Screw it, I'm done." And there goes the, 2 glasses of wine and a plate of cheese,
Yeah.
and I looked at myself in the mirror about a year ago, and I'm like, "No one is coming to my rescue."
Mm.
I'll just be frank. I live in Texas, and I do not have a
Mhm.
single elected official looking out for me or my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And I thought, no one's gonna come to my rescue. I have to do it myself.
Mhm.
And so I ended up, kicking myself into kicking myself in the butt. I hired a wellness coach. I lost the weight. I feel amazing.
Hmm.
I on a daily basis, I eat and I drink regularly throughout the day. I hydrate. I move my body. I even if I can't go to the gym, I'll walk around the block once or twice, or I'll do like 20 squats. Like what can I
Yeah.
do? Again, I
Yep.
can't do everything, but what can I do?
Yeah.
And just that mindset of this caring for myself regularly. Early on, I would have an alarm that would go off like every 2.5 to 3 hours to remind myself, get a snack, stop what you're doing, like
Mm.
put it down. It was such a radical act of self love that it
Mhm.
just kind of transformed me. And so
Mm.
now when things are bumpy or uncertain, I feel the mental clarity and the
Mhm.
physical strength, and the emotional groundedness to be able to
Yeah.
take it on.
Yeah.
So really, the TLDR version is
I
I
think I still have to look up what that actually
yeah,
stands
I
for.
too long didn't read. I have a really great team to support
Yeah.
me, and I intentionally take care of myself through healthy food, ample hydration, good sleep, you know, not completely avoiding wine, but really, really being very mindful now with when I choose to drink instead of just mindlessly grabbing the glass of wine.
Yeah.
Just self-care is how you get your power back. Take care of your body, strong mind. So,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
put down the chips, pick up a protein
Ooh.
bar, make yourself a cup of tea, go for a walk. I promise you will feel better.
I yes, and I mean, agree wholeheartedly with wholeheartedly with everything you just said. Obviously, it's like that's my brand. It's what I
Right?
preach,
Yeah.
it's what I
Yeah.
practice. And I think that people overcomplicate that part of it. Like it has to be some complex workout routine, or it has to be, if I don't do an hour,
Yeah.
then it doesn't
It's so
count. Or if I
amazing.
ate,
Right. Mhm.
like simplify it.
Yeah. No,
Literally
for real.
doing something
For
is
real.
better than nothing.
For real. I actually just did a whole webinar on this. I do these here to help monthly webinars. I'd love for people to check it out on our YouTube channel. It's My Soma Massage, but I did one on goal setting and how like sometimes you have to ditch that all or nothing mindset. Like sometimes if you want to go to the gym and you're not an active gym goer, don't like set the goal like I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week and I'm going to work out for an hour. Like your first step is to find your running shoes.
Right. Right.
Put those on and just actively practice going to the gym and checking in. And then if you leave, you've built that into your routine now. And start with that. Start small. And then the
Yep.
next step is like, well, as long as I'm here, I can stretch for 10 minutes. And then as long as and like just build on you're right. You're right, Leslie. You have to ditch that all or nothing mindset. Just
Yeah.
do what you can,
Yes.
and the rest is gonna fall into place. Just do what you
I
can.
I literally had that exact same conversation with someone the other day who was feeling very self-conscious about just starting to go to the gym. And
Mhm.
and I actually said, like, if you can just commit to literally just showing up there, and then if you like panic and you need to turn around and go home, okay. And the next day,
Yeah.
walk through the door
Yeah.
and then go home, or whatever. But like
Baby steps.
baby steps,
Yeah.
and also reflect and celebrate that you did those things, not
Yes.
that you didn't do the things,
Yes.
period.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Start small.
Start
Start small.
small. Yes.
And it'll
And
build.
then franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, and then franchise.
And
Exactly.
then franchise. Well, we've gotten to the end of almost our hour, and I want to make sure that we covered everything that you wanted to talk about? I've got, a couple more wrap up questions, but I don't want to neglect if there's anything that you wanted to talk about in
I
particular.
feel great. I was able to talk about franchising. I was able to talk about massages, healthcare. I was able to drop my link in my plug for the bonus. So yeah, and we did talk about both self care and how to be a grown up. So I feel like we covered all the bases.
Yeah, I think that's it. It
Yeah.
does cover it.
Yeah.
I guess for a listener, or viewer, I should say now, because I forget that I'm on video in a lot of places. Um, for someone who is feeling like our listener who said, I know COVID taught me that I need to diversify my, revenue streams and my business model, but I'm already stretched so thin. What is one or what are two things that they can do to just start to plant the seeds for diversification?
I shoot, you got me. You got me there. Start small. Let's go back to that. Start small.
Yeah.
I think enlisting the help of a business coach or a mentor, maybe in a similar industry, maybe not the same industry, but something similar. Just
Hmm.
having those conversations, I think, exploring, what is your target market asking for?
Yep.
What is your differential advantage? What are you doing different than someone else? And is there a way you can kind of create an adjacent product or service to that kinda amplifies? I'm not quite sure what industry they're in.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think just starting with those conversations and you don't have to have a whole retail store.
That's right.
Maybe you just offer 1 or 2 products at your front desk
Uh-huh.
and, start with that, see how it
Mhm.
goes. That will start building in more revenue for you to continue to grow. Um, yeah, you don't have to do all of it right now. Just do what you
Yep.
can. Yeah.
I think that is excellent advice, and the concept of the MVP, the minimum viable product. Like,
Mhm,
try something,
mhm,
see how it lands,
mhm.
measure the feedback, and then you either continue down that path or you've invested minimal time and
Right.
resources, and you move on to something
Something
else.
else. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Well, okay, so let's talk about where people can find you. I know you already talked about your website, but would you mention it again and all the places they can
Yeah.
find you?
Yeah, so our website again is mysomamassage.com. Soma is not an acronym for Super Outstanding Massage by Amber. It is a it is,
Should be.
it's yeah, it's short for somatic, SOMA.
Uh-huh.
Mysomamassage.com is our website. You can also find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, but not X because they're the devil. So you can find us mysomamassage.com.
I have a funny story about that. I'll tell you after. Wonderful. And yes, I'll link all those in the show's notes. Um, I start every episode with a hey coach question, but
Mhm,
every episode where I have a guest, I like to end with this question, which is, we talk about how running a business is basically like a workout. So,
mhm.
what is one business strength or habit you wish you had developed earlier in your career?
Mm. Wish I woulda joined a team
Hmm.
instead of doing it all by myself. I wish I
Joined a team or enlisted a team?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe having a personal trainer,
Oh,
would have helped, right?
mhm.
If we're talking gym stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, finding help, finding a coach, finding a trainer, being part of a team. I did all the things all by myself, and I missed out on a lot. My
Yeah.
kids were really tiny, and I
Mm.
missed out on a lot, and it made us late for almost everything. And when I didn't answer the phone didn't get answered.
Yep.
So that client would call the next studio, and I lost all
Yep.
the business.
Yep.
So I wish I would have just ditched. I think here's my condensed answer.
Okay.
I was operating out of a scarcity mindset, and I thought that I couldn't afford the help. And so therefore to save money, quote unquote, I did it myself. When really, if I would have invested in a team and the systems and processes that would have streamlined my business, we would have grown more quickly
Yep.
and more sustainably.
Yep.
So We're talking a gym. I would be like, pay for that platinum membership and get yourself a dang trainer and and see how strong you can get in a short
Mm.
amount of time.
With a support team.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Love that
Mm.
answer. That was great.
Hey, thanks.
Oh, well, Amber, as much as I would love to actually keep talking with you because I really think we could,
Mhm.
we both probably have some work to do. A
I
little bit.
do. I have my coaching call after this actually.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah,
very good.
time's the pump for me to talk to my coaching team. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm glad it's not your therapist and I haven't primed the pump for that.
This was
Uh,
great, Leslie. Thank you so much. I
yes.
enjoyed it.
Yes. Thank you so much. This was awesome. And for the listener, if you like today's episode, please leave a review, share, subscribe, all the things. Go check out My Soma Massage, and we'll see you next time.